Today I'm with founder of REA, Michael, and we're going to talk about battery storage for home. Now, Michael, with the household now able to access the 3-hour free electricity during the middle of the day under the solar share offer, has this fundamentally changed the economic of owning a home battery?
Yeah, definitely. So the old days of having solar power on your roof, then storing it in a battery to use at night has massively changed. So the using a battery simply to store your excess energy is one form of saving, but where it really comes into play and you can make massive savings is by playing the wholesale energy market. So being able to charge in the day both from your solar and from free electricity, and then discharge when the grid needs it as well as when the home needs it.
So how much electricity could realistically be stored during those free hours?
So the free 3-hour tariffs are a little bit complicated. That there are obviously retail offers coming out with those offers for 3 hours free. However, there are some caveats around the cost of power either side of that. So you should always look at the two different types of plans, the 3 hours free, but also just direct pass through wholesale. Now, in order to store the energy, you need an inverter to be able to convert the energy to store into a battery. So it all depends on your approved inverter limit rating and the amount of storage you have. So as an example, if you have 3 hours free and you have a 10 kilowatt inverter, you can store, in theory, 30 kilowatt hours minus the amount that you need to consume in the home. So realistically, a home will generally have around about 15 kilowatt hours, and I know there is some caveats around how much energy you can store or take for free in that free period, anywhere between 20 and 30 kilowatt hours.
And obviously, if you have three-phase, you can draw a lot more.
Yeah, so if you have three-phase power and a DNSP or grid approval for higher amounts, then you can charge it quicker. But again, you are limited to the amount of storage you can charge during that time.
And then can the battery automatically hold that free electricity until the expensive evening period, and then perhaps even export back to the grid?
Yeah, so again, it all comes down to the retail energy plan and the control system of the battery. So sometimes these are the same thing. For instance, Amber and other retailers that have a dedicated API control of the battery. And then sometimes they're a third party where you might have your battery manufacturer like us that have a REA energy plan to be able to control the battery to get the most out of your energy plan and your pricing. And then you have third-party apps and control systems as well to be able to manually set those times.
So you have a partner with which company again?
So we have our own. So we have our own dedicated that we've been developing over the last couple of years to be able to work with our battery and any retail or wholesale energy plan.
So you're buying the power when it's cheap and then selling it back to the grid.
That's right. I'm a firm believer if you're looking at energy plans to be direct wholesale and be able to buy when it's low, sell when it's high, and be able to charge when it's low and discharge into the home when the power price is high. And then you're in full control. A lot of these energy plans, I look at them like credit cards. They've got positives and negatives. So you really have to look at the fine print and work out what will be best both for your home and your energy consumption, and also the hardware that you have.
And that happens automatically?
Yeah. So once it's programmed, it can happen automatically, or you can also manually control. So our systems offer both. So you've got autonomous, where it using AI plays the market in 5-minute increments, and then you can control it and set it. So if you're on a very basic tariff where you have, for instance, a peak, a shoulder, and an off-peak, and then 3 hours free in the day, you can manually set it to say, I want to fully charge my battery at this time, I want to discharge my battery at this time, and it will either go into the home or out to the grid, depending on what your consumption is at that time.
And how does that work with electric car if you have to charge in the middle of the night?
So electric vehicles, again, it's for me, I think it's best to manually set them to predictable energy times. So what I do in particular with my vehicle is I will set it on the car, so we don't have any issues with software or hardware integration with your battery storage or energy retailer. I know that wholesale energy in the middle of the night is very, very cheap. So I set my car to charge from 12 a.m. until 4 a.m. And that generally is the cheapest time to use electricity.
Right.
So I plug it in as soon as I get home, and I know that by the morning I'll have a full charge.
Yes. So would it then charge from the grid or from the battery, or can you not charge from the battery?
So it depends, and again, if you've got it in autonomous and you've got something like our REA energy plan and our power bank, it will do it all for you. So it will work out what is the most economical way to charge your battery and power the house. It will either pull it from the grid, or it will pull it from your battery, or it might do a little bit of both.
Now there's a talk about vehicle to load and vehicle to grid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so vehicle to grid or vehicle to load, really the same thing. Essentially, you're taking the energy from your car, using a bi-directional charger and being able to charge a specific load. We have a different vision or mindset around how we're going to use vehicle to load. A lot of manufacturers and companies are looking at it in a way that, well, I can power my house, or I can power appliances with the car. What I believe, and this is the way that we are setting up our systems and what you can do in the future with DNSP or grid approvals, is the way that I see it is the car becomes a generator, it becomes a backup. So essentially, if you can imagine, if you have a blackout, you'll be able to use your batteries until they're depleted, but then also you'll be able to plug your car in that may be full, and then charge your home batteries to full as fast as possible, and then be able to slowly trickle discharge from your home batteries, as opposed to directly using your car to power the load. Now, as an example, if the house only needs 2 kilowatt, okay, but your car can deliver 5 kilowatt, then you're better off having the car charge your home battery at 5 kilowatt until full, and then being able to unplug it and travel around and do whatever you want. Now, if your car starts to get drained and needs recharging, at least it's mobile. So if we have prolonged blackouts through a weather event, your home battery is nearly depleted, then you can go to a public charger that still has power, refill your car, bring it back like a generator, plug it in and recharge your home battery. As opposed to just using it like an RV or camping, where you're just trickle charging basic loads. You want to use it to recharge your home battery, and then let your home battery control the loads in your home.
And obviously you would wire up the essential circuit to your home battery.
Yeah, so backup is a big thing that people need to understand correctly. A lot of people talk about whole home backup, and that sounds great, but if you have your whole home on backup, then what you're doing potentially is depleting your batteries quicker. So if you have a weather event where a lot of people don't realize they've lost power, and if you have a large load that's on, that isn't vital. So it might be air conditioning, it might be an oven or a stove, or something that you can do without during a weather event, and it drains your whole battery in an hour. That's not a good situation. So you're better off having vital circuits, your lights and power, internet, things that you need, garage door controls or anything that is required for access at the home. You want them to be on backup, and you want the backup to last as long as possible.
What sort of equipment would you need to get the power from the car into the battery?
So you need a bi-directional AC charger that's compatible with both the vehicle, and then also you need the compatible home battery system that has a gateway that can control the car, similar to having a generator input.
And does your battery has that sort of
Yes, yeah. So we have a battery input, a generator input, and a vehicle control input as well, to be able to charge just like a generator or a third-party energy source into our battery. So we're one of the very few. There's us, and then one of our other partners is Franklin. So Franklin also have the ability to be able to charge from a vehicle.
And what type of charger would you need to do that?
Actual brand charger. So there's some coming out in the market. We're bringing out our own REA charger, which will be able to give you the ability to do that.
Oh, fantastic. What's the difference between your power bank compared to other systems?
So it's a great question. 2 years ago, there were only a handful in the market. We have obviously Tesla, Sungrow, Alpha ESS, and BYD were the major players. Now we have a lot of other different brands on the market like SIG Energy, Fox ESS. However, what most of them share, or what is most common, is their high voltage batteries. So essentially when you're converting the energy, you have multiple stages and what's called a DC boost to be able to boost the energy up to above 400 volts to be able to reconvert it down to 240 volts AC. Now the problem with direct current and what REA have always advocated for is safe solar and circuit protected solar. Unfortunately, with high voltage systems and high voltage batteries, the reason why they have built-in fire extinguishers and all of this fire mitigation is because you do have a potential of a high voltage DC arc fault. So we're on the firm belief that safety is the most important thing when looking at a battery. So we have one of the very few low voltage batteries in the market. So both our power bank and our new power bank X is below 100 volts DC. So we have 90 volts, and our new product is actually the world's only extra low voltage. So it's actually below 30 volts DC. Our other partners in the market are Franklin, who are 60 volts, and also Enphase as well. That's between 60 and 80 volts DC. So we advocate low voltage. So when you're looking for a battery, the safest battery is always going to be a low voltage battery because you don't have that potential for a DC arc fault.
Does that DC current just get added if you stack more batteries?
No, so it's a parallel system.
Right.
Yeah, so where they will add it in series, where the final stack or the final battery configuration might be 500 to 600 volts DC, our batteries remain at below 90 volts. There are many other benefits as well in regards to true AC coupled design to be able to be completely independent from your solar system. So if there is any issue with the battery or any issue with your solar system, they don't affect each other. So you've always got at least one operating. And the other huge benefit as well is the speed of operation, being able to play the market. The wholesale energy market is 5 minutes. So being able to have a battery that's super fast to be able to charge and discharge quickly and respond to the market trades can make a huge difference in saving. And then the final thing is the expandability, being able to plug and play both in new installations, in existing solar installations that doesn't have a battery. We don't need to replace your existing inverter. Our product and our battery will plug straight into your existing architecture, and it won't be affected by any potential issues of your existing system, and that plug and play expandability as well. So you can install a certain size, and then the battery system can grow with your family or your energy requirement.
And the battery can still operate locally without an internet connection or
yeah, exactly. So it can operate without internet connection. We use a local internet installation. Teams will use a hotspot to be able to set the system up and set the firmware. However, with all battery systems, it's strongly recommended to keep them connected to the internet. And that's for firmware updates, for being able to make sure that the system's configured correctly at all times.
Yeah, I noticed you advertise a 10-year warranty. What exactly is guaranteed after 10 years or during the 10 years?
Yeah, so in batteries you've got a physical warranty, which is for the physical hardware of the product, and then you have a cycle life warranty as well. So we have a 10-year full replacement warranty on the whole battery, and then we have a 10,000 cycle warranty. So that means that you can cycle it fully, charge and discharge 10,000 times before essentially it's out of its warranty period.
Right, okay. So obviously that 10,000 cycle can include vehicle to load.
That's right, yeah. You might cycle it multiple times a day, which obviously will shorten the lifespan in years, but you're getting your savings because you're able to use the battery more and do more market trading, or you can cycle it once a year and you'll get 20 years out.
And what's the biggest mistake you see people making when buying a battery?
When buying a battery, the biggest mistakes that we see are threefold. The first is a battery that will work correctly for the home for the energy consumption requirements, both in peak output and also the amount of energy they require for the day. And also the connection, being able to play the market, being able to connect to the right energy tariff. So that's the first thing, is having a smart battery that can work for your family. Batteries are not all created equal. The second is again, the safety. A lot of people are concerned about the safety of the battery, but they don't understand the electrical principles. So some manufacturers are actually advertising high voltage like it's a good thing. But high voltage means high risk. So again, looking at for a battery that's low voltage. And then the last thing is longevity. So both REA and our manufacturing partners have been manufacturing batteries for more than 10 years. Most of our competitors in the market have been in the market for a year to 2 years maximum. It takes 3 to 4 years to really see the reliability of a product and the potential issues as well, and how the company handles those potential issues. And we're seeing it at the moment with some of the biggest volume manufacturers taking many months to action a warranty claim.
What sort of chemistry is the cells?
So most across the board, almost every battery now is LFP. So they're lithium iron phosphate. So they're as safe as you can get when it comes to the battery cell chemistry. Again, it comes down to how many batteries you're stacking together, whether it's in parallel or series, that will determine the final voltage. So it's not the battery or the battery cell that is potentially the safety concern. It's two things. It's the high voltage and the electrical connections, the terminals, the installation, and the longevity. And then the second thing is external heat sources. So for example, if you have a stackable battery that's 400 volts, you have an inverter that sits above it that's connected to 500 volts of direct current of solar. If you have a potential issue within 20 years of the solar system, of the cable, of the plugs, you can have a potential DC arc fault. Now, a DC arc fault will melt at 2000 degrees. It can melt tungsten. So if you have your inverter that's high voltage sitting on top of your high voltage battery, and that causes a potential fire, if your battery cells heat up above 100 degrees, they go into thermal runaway. They off-gas hydrogen, and then that's a massive potential safety issue. So the other thing that we advocate is if you do have a high voltage system, or you have a DC solar system, keep your DC inverter far away from your battery stack.
Now, what will a home energy system be able to do in 5 years from now that most homeowners don't realize is coming today?
So the future is peer-to-peer energy trading. So it's being able to create a microgrid. Obviously, we have a lot of things that are going to be connected to the grid using more centralized power in the future. AI data centers. We've got obviously a massive potential to increase the amount of electric vehicles on the road. That's all going to take energy from the grid. The grid will become more unstable and it will become more expensive. So being able to take care of your own energy future. Our vision is about creating energy independence for every human on the planet. So the future of being able to trade energy with your neighbors, with your friends, through peer-to-peer trading, set pricing, and run the battery and the home energy like commodity trading. But the beauty is we know when people use power, we know when the pricing's low, we know when the pricing's high, and that essentially will be the future of energy, is having a decentralized microgrid that everybody can trade and save and work together on creating energy independence.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
It's very exciting.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we look at some of your products?
So again, talking a little bit about REA, and we've been in the market for over 15 years now. We started in renewable energy advising, and then in installation, engineering, design, manufacturing, and now being able to have a vertically integrated system from the solar manufacturing to battery manufacturing, the software integration, and then the retail trading. Having a system that is end-to-end compatible with each other, similar to an Apple product having an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac. It simplifies the solution, but it also optimizes it to get the best solution, as opposed to having multiple different brands of different products and trying to integrate them together. Our system is designed harmoniously, again, for one simple result, and that is energy independence, peace of mind, safety, performance, and reliability.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got our power bank. Now, our power bank is the most value for money economical system on the market. Now, the reason being is because rather than some of our competitors that require a gateway, everything is built into the top unit, and it is plug and play expandable. So this is our BMS and control system. This converts the energy from DC to AC, and it's AC coupled. So what that means is this can connect to an existing solar system. This can even connect into a home that doesn't have solar to be able to trade the energy through the grid. So it can charge from solar power, it can charge from grid as well. And then the bottom is the battery. So each battery is 10.1 kilowatt hours. It's below 90 volts. So again, it's extra low voltage, and it's expandable where you can have up to 6 of these on one controller. So you can have up to 60 kilowatt hours on one controller or one BMS, and then you can add another one in parallel to double your peak output. So what this does is, this is a 5 kilowatt. This charges and discharges at 5 kilowatt. It can charge direct from solar at 5 kilowatt and discharge into load or charge the battery simultaneously at 5 kilowatts. You've got a 10 kilowatt total. If you want double, you just simply add another one, parallel them together, and then you've got 10 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt.
Sure.
And then again, batteries then with 2 of them, you can add up to 12 batteries to keep increasing the storage capacity. So it's a really great unit, and over the last 5 years, we've installed well over 10,000. So it's super reliable, proven in the market, metal casing, everything is all concealed. And then you've got your indicator control lights as well. So really simple, reliable, and a really great product.
For a 3-phase system,
yes,
would you go with more than one BMS? Or how
again, a 3-phase system, when it comes to 3-phase, again, I'm a firm believer on whether you have a 3-phase or a single-phase system, having a 3-phase load on backup is something that you really need to think hard and consider, and that's because generally most 3-phase loads will require a lot of power and then will drain your battery quickly. So this is a single phase unit. However, in normal operation, when we have grid power, you have a net energy meter. So what that means is that it will operate the home as normal with 3-phase, but it is taking care of one of the phases, so the main consumption phase of the home. To have a 3-phase or dedicated 3-phase product, we have our new product, which is our PowerBank X. So this is manufactured with our partners in Germany, Atmos. This is a complete game changer. So we've gone one extra level from PowerBank to below 30 volts DC. So we call this safe to touch. So if we open up the battery, you can actually touch the terminals with your hands. It's that safe. The beauty of this is it's actually a multi-phase system. So rather than it being a 3-phase or single phase, again, going back to 3-phase, the problem with a 3-phase inverter is if you don't have balanced loads and you have one of the loads that's using a lot of power and the other 2 loads that are using almost no power, the issue with that is your inverter can only deliver the power a third evenly, because it's a dedicated 3-phase inverter. So that creates complications in both savings and backup as well. What this does is it's a multi-phase system. So we're able to independently distribute the power to match the load. So what this does is not only phase balance, but phase correction as well. So for instance, if on phase A, you needed 80% of the rating and the capacity, it can deliver 80% and deliver the 20% to the other 2 phases. What's amazing about this is you can actually charge on one phase and you could even discharge to the grid on the other phase simultaneously. It is also the fastest market trading battery. So through our CAN bus to our control system, or the energy hub, it's able to read in real time the market trading and be able to make corrections and actions every 5 minutes to be able to get the most savings out of your hardware. So that's the battery. The battery is 7 kilowatt hours, but it's 5 kilowatts, 5 kVA. So what that means is we can deliver the full battery capacity in just over an hour, which is really important for market trading. So if you only have a 3-hour window of being able to either charge or discharge during a power event, this can do it faster than any other battery on the market. So if you, for instance, had 4 of these, depending on your grid approval, you could have the potential of having 28 kilowatt hours of storage capacity, but 20 kilowatt of inverter rating to be able to charge and discharge. That's then connected to our hub. Now our energy hub, again, it's one next level from power bank, where this has the whole home connected to it. But again, we can control how the home is backed up, so we don't use all of the battery capacity. We can select what dedicated loads we want to charge and discharge to during a power or weather event. Our controller controls the batteries, but it also controls our AC modules as well with our new microinverter. So it gives you one complete system to control your panels that are AC, safe AC into the controller, safe AC into the battery, creating the world's most efficient and safest AC coupled battery system. Okay, now this is our Type X solar panel. So this is amazing. It's going across the generations, as you can see, from our Gen 1 panel to our Gen 2, and now our Gen 3, which is the Type X. So what the Type X does is it takes all of the fusion technology that we've developed over the last 10 years, and then it adds the final piece in the puzzle, which is our back contact. So we went from multi-bus bar to what we call zero bus bar wire connection. Now we still have a zero bus bar wire connection on the back, but on the front of the cell, it's zero bus bar. So we put all of the connections on the back to be able to generate more energy from more surface area. So now this module is 500 watts front and it's 500 watts rear. So we have a transparent bifacial where you can actually see through the grid. Now the benefits of that is on the roof, it looks all black and looks amazing, but we're able to get refractive and oblique light to be able to pass through the panel to generate some energy on the rear side. So we turn on the system earlier, we turn off the system later, it generates more total energy, and then also the benefit as well is rather than having an all black module or black backsheet, which then reduces the temperature coefficient, we're able to have a high-performing all-black module without having any degradation down to heat. So this is the new Type X, 500 watts, industry-leading, best-looking panel on the market, highest performance. It's an amazing product that we've been working in conjunction with our university partners and our manufacturing partners around the world. So this product launches now in Australia, and in the next 4 weeks we'll also launch in the UK for Europe. So we're really excited about this product.
And what's the microinverter behind it?
So the microinverter, this is the AC module. So this comes in a DC and an AC module. So the great thing about the dedicated AC module is we have an embedded microinverter. So what this does is it generates the energy and converts the energy from DC to AC at the panel. Again, so we're working on a low voltage system, the world's safest system, where we have 240 AC from the panel. So rather than connecting all the panels in series and having high voltage DC that can't be circuit protected, we're able to convert it directly at the microinverter to generate safer energy. And then what that does as well is we're optimizing the performance of every panel individually as well, because the every panel operates independently.
Great, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.